Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, was Janet Jackson night on Dancing with the Stars a pleasure principle or an unnecessary escapade? Plus, the original Ghostbusters return for the newest film in the franchise. It's all in the hot dish. Then, I have now finished Katie Couric's controversial book, Why Her Years at CBS Were Doomed from the Start. And our special guest, Minnesota's own and the first winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, Marshall, a.k.a. BeBe Zahara, is live in our studio to talk about an incredible new documentary and the phenomenon of Drag Race. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Pipestone. Good morning, Albert Lee. Good morning, Rogers. And good morning to you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Please say hello to my sidekick sister from another mister and Larry's Lizards Employee of the Month, Kendall Marks.
We got the lizards.
That's right. Today there's a sale on salamanders.
$10.99.
How you doing?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm great. So Kendall was a little aggressive this morning in our before the show meeting,
Was
which,
I
by the
though?
way, you can see now with fancy new graphics on our Jason Show Facebook page. So it's our meeting before the show starts where producer Ted diligently tries to corral cats to get us to pay attention to him where he goes over the show. You know, he's like, okay, so BeBe's here, you're gonna be sitting here, you're gonna talk about this. And we never listen to him because we're too busy gossiping, making fun of each other, critiquing Jeff's sweater collection and all of that. Well, today, in the middle of it, I made, I guess, a shocking announcement that Kendall immediately was Judge Judy. I said, I'm thinking of doing casual Fridays. And that is the judgmental face that she gave me. And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, I don't know. I'm thinking, you know, the Halloween show when I was dressed as Gilligan and I had some nice jeans. I thought, you know, I might do a nice.
Was he this polite when he was answering me? I don't remember if it was feisty.
Nice begets nice. If I receive kindness, I give kindness. If I get venom in my face, I spit venom back. Anyway, as I was saying, I thought, you know, I might try Casual Friday. Wear a nice sweater, you know what, maybe for the winter. And two problems came up. The first, that face right there. And then the second, executive producer Jeff said this, have you checked with Kim Jong-un? No, I haven't. Now, our last general manager, Sheila, she now runs a series. She runs some Boston markets. She's a district manager for Boston markets. She was very particular about wardrobe. For instance, if I didn't wear a pocket square, Sheila, I got a day without pay. I had to wear a pocket square every day. Kim Jong-un, our new president, she's very particular about wardrobe, on-air folks. So I don't know how this is going to fly. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it and ask forgiveness. That gives Jeff hives. I think I'm just going to come out on a Friday, and then if she gets mad, it's just television. You know what I mean? Why are you not happy about this?
Because I just know you. And I said, are you sure about that? In the meeting, because and my words were, it's not very on brand for you.
And I said to you, who the blank are you to tell me what's on brand?
Name on the floor.
I didn't say that.
No,
I absolutely said that.
Absolutely.
Eric, please take a shot. Name on the floor, right there. No, I get it. I choose. Sheila wanted me when the show started to come out in like t-shirts, you know, but I said no. I like a suit.
Nicely.
I think it projects. I'm an old school broadcasting guy. Johnny wouldn't come out in a sweater vest like he was working at Cracker Barrel. Even Conan in the days. Now they've all loosened up, But still, I like to present, I want this show to look professional. I do! You know that bothers me when things go wrong.
I know. We can say foolish things, but you better look good.
Yeah, I don't like, but I would wear something nice casual. And then if Kim Jong-un doesn't like it, I'll get yelled at, and then I'll go back to wearing suits on Friday. What do you guys think? Let us know.
You do you, Jason.
Thank you. And Kendall, you do you. Kids, go out there and be yourself. Because nobody but Kim Jong-un can tell you're doing it wrong. Come on, Leo. Let's do the hot dish. Roll it, everybody. Jason, I saw your broadcast on Friday, and where did you get that sweater? Were the dancers in control? Was it a messy escapade? And did we want to run away when it was all over? What am I talking about? It was Janet Jackson night on Dancing with the Stars yesterday evening, and with only 3 weeks left in the season, 2 more couples were sent out. Before we show you what happened, here's a spoiler alert. Thank you. Now you can't get mad at us. The judges were handing out perfect scores like candy, like Sour Patch Kids. And 2 of the couples who got all 10s were our local folks. Look. You know what I miss? The real Janet Jackson singing. That's Suni Lee and Sasha dancing to All For You. Love that song. And Amanda Klutz and Alan dancing to Miss You Much. Probably one of my favorite Janet songs. Both survived elimination and will live on to dance in the semifinals. Unfortunately, 2 couples had to go home. Olivia Jade's run on the show came to a very sad end. And singer Jimmy Allen was also sent home, given a plane ticket and coach back home. Here's my thing. ABC is owned by Disney. I know what Walt Disney World makes. Take some of that money, and if you're going to have Janet Jackson night, be not cheap enough to actually have Janet Jackson sing it. Be not cheap enough.
We got it.
Why have Janet Jackson night if you're going to have Cassandra singing it? Don't bother.
I don't know. It's weird.
Finally, it's time to play America's favorite game. Kendall, say it with me. What was Tyra wearing? Let's take a look yesterday at her outfit.
That's not bad. I kind of like it.
It is an homage to Janet. So you know what? I'm going to give her a pass this week. I mean, she's still trying to take away attention from the contestants, but whatever. Next in the dish, how many trailers do we need for one movie? I guess 3 to 4. But that's okay because this final look at the new Ghostbusters Afterlife actually looks pretty darn good. And listen carefully, there's some familiar voices. Look at this.
I remember Revelations. And I looked as he opened the 6th seal. There was a great earthquake. Judgment Day. Raise a call.
I'm calling about what happened in New York.
There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years.
Oh my God. What is happening here?
His grandfather was a Ghostbuster. Something was coming and he knew it.
I think we opened the gates of hell.
Hey, have you missed us?
We have. So a couple kids in there. The one kid you'll recognize, Finn, from Stranger Things, McKenna Grace, Paul Rudd's in there, and the old gang, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson. Sigourney Weaver and Annie Potts all return. That is fantastic. Ghostbusters Afterlife is going to be in theaters November 19th. This makes me happy. It's gotten mixed reviews. I don't care. I want a nostalgia trip, and that's what this is.
Do you think, I mean, I'm assuming that something went wrong in the editing, that they didn't get this out before Halloween, because I would have wanted to watch it then. Now I don't really care as much.
I think they're waiting for the big holiday season. You know what I mean? They want,
duh.
I mean, the big rush. I mean, because Christmas is the big season.
Right.
During a pandemic, it's when the movie theaters and studios want to make a big summer and Christmas. So makes sense to me.
I guess.
Yeah. Lots more to come, everyone. Go get some Sanka, some more Tang, and meet me back here in just a few minutes. Back after these words. More Hot Dish is coming out of the oven. Next, Emilio Estevez is setting the record straight on why he's leaving the Mighty Ducks TV show on Disney+. Then, start your engines. The very first winner of RuPaul's Drag Race is in our workroom. Marshall, a.k.a. the legendary BeBe Zahara Benet, is live in our studio. Oh, what a beautiful day. And get ready to sing on the plains. We're joined by the stars of Oklahoma. That and more when The Jason Show continues.
So we were flying to LA for some book promotion stuff, and I noticed that Cardi B was on the flight. It was an early flight from New York. I was like, yo, Cardi B I have to go say hello. And then promptly fell asleep and had a dream that Cardi officiated our wedding on the plane itself, and then we held hands walking out of LAX, the three of us together.
So that's the first tweet. You tweeted that Cardi B was on.
So I tweeted this when I woke up. And I didn't tag her because I thought it might be tacky.
And
then she saw it.
She sees it. First, why didn't you say hi? Second, I'm licensed to do that, so let me know.
Yeah. Which is pretty great, right?
So then you respond. You're the best. Was going to say hi, but didn't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Your do not disturb
Now,
light was on.
look at the time code on this. When I sent this back, Josh was actually asleep. And I was in bed, and I saw her tweet, and I'm like, oh, man. I mean, I got to wake him up, right, to make sure it's okay to reply. And I was like, no, executive decision.
Our late night rewind, Cal Penn, talking about Cardi B on Jimmy Kimmel. I love Cal. I want to read his book, because now I finished Katie Couric's book, which I'll get to in just a second. I'm still bothered by Dancing with the Stars.
Well, oh, the Janet thing?
Here's the meeting. You know, I always say I want to be in the meeting. Here's the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, let's do Janet Jackson night. Oh, good idea. We can't afford the rights to the music, but let's just do it anyway. No! They have the music, but pay a little bit more, Mickey Mouse, to actually get Janet singing.
So is that how it totally works? Like you just have to fork over a little more for the official track?
It's probably a lot more, but it's Disney. I mean, I know what I pay at Disney World. You can afford it. Just saying. If you're going to do Janet Jackson night, have Janet Jackson. I don't want Cassandra singing. No offense, she's great.
Cassandra, we love you.
The house band's great. That's not my point. Next to the dish, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Adele is giving us another taste of her new album. She dropped just a little slice of her new song called Hold On, and she dropped it in an Amazon holiday commercial. Look at this.
Let pain be gracious, just hold. Let time be patient. You still strong. Let pain be patient.
I need to watch it again because I was so distracted by the bird. All I kept thinking is, I hope the bird doesn't peck that poor man's hand.
Oh my God, what?
I lived across from Loring Park here in Minneapolis.
Okay.
And I went to feed a bird, and I put, I don't know, something on my hand. And the
bird food?
No, it wasn't bird food. It was leftover Chinese food. And the bird aggressively poked my hand, and it hurt.
Probably because you gave it a fried wonton and it didn't know how to eat it.
I don't know. It's food. Adele's new album, 30, will be released on November 19th. I like that song. I want to hear the whole thing.
I just love holiday commercials, period. Like all of them. I want them all.
And they've exploded. It was like one day it was Halloween, and the next day, boom. Starbucks has their holiday cups. Caribou has. I'm ready for it. But I always feel bad for Thanksgiving.
You feel bad for Thanksgiving.
I do. Next in the dish. Cults are really hot right now in Hollywood. Who the hell writes this? Did Ted write this? And we're going to get another movie based on a cult. Cult leader. Leonardo DiCaprio is in final talks to play 70s religious cult leader Jim Jones. He's the guy behind the Jonestown mass suicide that took the lives of more than 900 people. When you hear the phrase drinking the Kool-Aid, that comes from this tragedy. No word on when production may get underway. I want to see this. And doesn't this scream a Leo project? It just seems like a movie that he would just kind of sink his teeth into.
When he gets those character roles where he can be like almost a little bit of like manic about it, where he gets really excited and like his eyes get really big and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. It's weird to think about, because I was, in my 20s when Titanic came about. And it's just weird to think that we're about the same age. It's weird to think of Leo in his mid to late 40s, because he'll always be Jack in his early 20s to me.
Or Romeo and Juliet.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't love that one, but yeah.
What?
I didn't like that one.
Oh my God, I fell in love with Romeo.
What is that voice you're doing?
I loved him.
Okay.
I still love him. I'd join his cult.
Can we get her checked?
Rabies shot.
Yeah. I got to get that little dart gun. Good timing. That was good. Skeletor fell down. There he goes, right there. Next in the disc. So did you guys hear about Emilio Estevez leaving Mighty Ducks on Disney Plus? Well, he's clearing up some rumors surrounding that decision. So initial reports said that his exit was due to the production's vaccine requirement. But Emilio says that's not true, and he's not anti-vax. He says his exit was just good old-fashioned contract disputes, along with good old-fashioned creative differences. He then said he contracted COVID last year, early in the pandemic, and became a long hauler, suffering from COVID symptoms during the summer and fall of 2020. And he says he now regrets keeping it a secret. So that makes sense. I'm getting ready to talk about this point. But when I read that quote, I wanted to hear the whole thing, because we are living in an age where it's really easy, and I've been guilty of it on this show. You read a headline, and then you don't further investigate, and then you react and you get all outraged, and then it's wrong because it's taken out of context. So I waited to hear from him, and I'm glad that I did.
Well, and when he says that he sort of now, in retrospect, regrets not saying anything, I think all of us are different about when something happens with your health.
Yeah.
Like if I'm sure in the moment he was like, I don't want to do interviews. I don't want to talk about this.
Exactly. Next up, it's the book that I couldn't stop listening to. I literally just finished this morning Katie Couric's new book, Going There, My Ex-Wife. Hi, Katie. And I can't stop talking about some of the things she revealed. Now, as you know, I've been sprinkling in as I've gone through the book. I've kind of gone through this with you. We've talked a lot about what she said about her time on NBC's The Today Show. But her years at CBS News were just as dramatic. So here's the deal, especially for you youngins. In 2006, she left The Today Show to become the anchor of the CBS Evening News and contributor to 60 Minutes. She became the first solo woman to anchor a network nightly newscast. And you wouldn't believe the drama surrounding everything that she wore. Okay, we're getting ready to play you. This is a clip of her premiere on CBS in 2006. Take a good look at this, and I'll tell you about the drama on the other side. Look.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be with you tonight. For many Americans today, it was back to work and back to school.
That was Katie's, as I said, first night on the legendary broadcast. And one of the things that stuck out was this. She was doomed from the start. She was doomed at CBS from the very beginning. As you saw right there, she wore a winter white suit, and she did that because she didn't want to take away. She knew that she would be judged just as much as the content of the broadcast. Well, she was. And a review of the reviews from a Columbia journalism professor, reviewed all of the reviews of Katie's first night. Every single one of them, every single one mentioned what she wore. In comparison, this same professor looked at all the coverage of Brian Williams' first night when he took over for Tom Brokaw on NBC Nightly News. Not one review mentioned what Brian was wearing. Now look, I know people sometimes roll your eyes, oh, they're just throwing around the sexism label. This isn't throwing it around. That is right, I mean, hello, it's right there. You can't miss it. Don't tell me that coverage of women anchors is not different from coverage of male anchors. When everybody from the Washington Post to the New York Times mentioned what Katie was wearing. It's ridiculous. They didn't like that she was standing at the beginning of the broadcast. And I purposely showed you that clip because one of the biggest controversies is the fact that she started her broadcast by saying, "Hi, everyone," and not "Good evening, everyone." To which I say, get a life. If you're that caught up in an anchor saying hello instead of good evening, you re-examine what bothers you. Anyway, my point being, I'm having some fun with this, but I didn't think it was possible, and I realize that a lot of you, that Katie is unfortunately a polarizing figure. Probably some of you watching she's not your cup of tea. I understand that. People don't like me. But I walked away. I was already a giant fan. I grew up with her. I walked away a bigger fan of Katie. Now, Katie, during her time at CBS, was also a contributor to the legendary CBS broadcast, 60 Minutes. In another display of, woof, she was doomed. The president, or the executive producer of 60 Minutes, was a guy called Jeff Fager. I say was called because it came out that he was Mervy-pervy, just like Matt Lauer and Les Moonves, and he has since been fired or asked to leave. Jeff hated Katie. Didn't think that she had the gravitas to be at CBS News. Treated her horrible from the start, and the best example is Katie, before anybody else, around 08 or 09, realized that Lady Gaga was coming on strong in the culture. She realized that she was going to be a phenomenon, and she went to the bigwigs and said, this woman is going to be the next Madonna, and we should do a profile on 60 Minutes, because 60 waits until people become phenomenons if they're in pop culture. They turned her down. Then Lady Gaga exploded, went on all these other shows. Then 60 Minutes came back, she heard, and through Katie's liaison with 60 Minutes, the woman called Katie and said, they want to do Lady Gaga now. Katie said, that's great. She walks into the 60 offices, looked at the assignment board, and it said, Lady Gaga, correspondent, Anderson Cooper. And that happened 2 more times where they took an interview that she had worked on away from her. So judge for yourself. All of these pre-interview, we got to go, but all of these, the pre-release quotes that were pulled from this, the majority of them are so taken out of context, and this is a textbook example of read the book before you judge her, because I disagree with 80% of the criticism that came her way prior to the release of this book. A lot of it taken out of context. Take the time to read it before you criticize it. And Katie, I love you, and please come on the show for at least a half hour. I love you. We're going to take a break. When we come back, she is an icon. BeBe Zahara Benet will join us live to talk about an extraordinary new documentary. Back after this. Welcome back, everyone. I woke up excited about today's show because of our next guests. He's the most famous drag queen from Minnesota, winning the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Now, an incredible new documentary looks at the incredible life of BeBe Zahara Benet. Look at this.
BeBe Zahara Benet is with us, and you know she won the first RuPaul's Drag Race.
Je t'ai dit. Non, c'est que les Camerounais.
It was just God's gift to the world. God's gift to us first, then the world. Yeah.
I traveled many, many miles away from my family and friends to pursue a dream, and I will not stop until I've reached the end of my journey.
Being BeBe follows 15 years in the life of this African native who built a new life in Minnesota and beyond. It premieres Saturday night. One of my favorite events in the Twin Cities, the Sound Unseen Film Festival. Please welcome Marshall, aka BeBe Zahara Benet, and the director and producer of Being BeBe, my new friend Emily. Welcome to the show. I don't want to get all serious right away. We'll have fun in the next segment, but I love the one quote from that reviewer, putting the struggle of queer folks into a global perspective. Was that, either of you or both of you can take that question, was that one of the missions of the documentary?
For me, it definitely was. I mean, I feel like as soon as I met you, your global perspective on drag was one of the things that drew my attention to you and made you stand out in the scene here in the Twin Cities. And yeah, it's one of the things that makes you most unique.
And how did you two meet?
Well,
it was a blind date. No, I'm just
Was
one
this
of those.
Speed date. Speed date.
Tinder. No, my little sister was dancing backup for BeBe for a local pageant in the Twin Cities way back in 2006. And she told me about BeBe, and I was like, that sounds like kind of an amazing short film. Maybe I need to come make a short film about this person.
Did it take you a while to agree to do it? Because you really are, I mean, not kinda, that opens your whole life up in a way that goes way beyond reality television. Did you have any apprehension?
Kinda. Well, I mean, I don't know if I didn't want to do it. I think I just kind of fell into it in a way because when she wanted to document me going to the pageant, because back in the day when you wanted to be known in the community and your work be recognized, you go and do all this, drag pageants. And then, so when she decided to follow me to Dallas to represent Minnesota, I was like, okay, yes, come do it, and it's gonna be fun, whatever. And then once she said, hey, I want to really, your stories, even there's so much more layers in your story other than just the pageantry and all that stuff. And she said, I want to document your life. I was like, okay. But I think when you go through life and you go through the journey and you go through the human experience and the artist experiences, you don't even think about it anymore, or you think about the cameras today. You just go through what you go through, and it becomes whatever. But I've built so much trust with Emily. We've become so much close friends, and so I had to just let go and just let the story be what it needs to be and tell it, yeah.
And it goes way beyond. I mean, I think the majority of folks watching obviously think they know you from Drag Race, but what I love about this is you travel back home. What was that, and we have some footage of that, what was that like on an emotional level for you? This was post-Drag Race, right? You return, am I getting the timeline right here? It is right here. What was that like for you on an emotional level?
To go back home?
Yeah.
Well, when I went back home not in the best circumstances. I went back home to send up my dad because my dad passed. And so Emily came and was coming to support me, but also what's so funny is that Emily came and was not even able to be there with me. So we were both at the same time in Cameroon, but not even together in Cameroon.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, she.
I tried, but for very good reason. Your family didn't want cameras around at that point, and I totally understand and respected that. And so when I got there, I pivoted and met with some LGBTQ people who are living in Cameroon now, who are both activists and young people living more closeted lifestyles, and got to know them a bit. And in a way, they ended up serving as avatars for what BeBe's life may have been had BeBe never left Cameroon.
I was going to say, I would assume that some of the audience has no idea. I mean, the conditions in Cameroon, putting it politely and respectfully, not the best for the LGBTQ community. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
I'm putting it mildly. What is it? I mean, if you can encapsulate it in a short amount of time, what is it like?
Well, it's illegal. It's illegal to be gay in Cameroon, and the way that they, decide who's gay and who's not is based a lot on gender presentation. So it's dangerous to even present in a gender nonconforming way in Cameroon, which is really, really unfortunate and scary, because there's also mob justice. There's not just, the legal system, but people take the law into their own hands and are violent to each other. It's really horrifying.
And you moved here when you were 19, right? Because I've been here since '97, so I remember you at the 90s, like one of your first shows. I've been with you since fans can say, I have been with you since the beginning.
Why are you calling out my age? What's the problem? I'm taking this very personal.
I am celebrating you. I am celebrating you. I'm older than you, so don't worry about it.
They'll never know.
Okay, hold it right there. We're gonna talk. We have so much. We haven't even touched Drag Race. We won't talk about age anymore. But Marshall did come here when he was 19. They're sticking around. We're gonna talk Drag Race and more. To learn more about the movie in the meantime, head to beingbbemovie.com. We'll be back with more right after this. I did just call out your age within 4 minutes of the.
The next drag superstar is BeBe.
12 years ago, we're not going to talk ages. I'm going to leave all dates off this. Several years ago, BeBe Zahara was crowned the first winner ever of RuPaul's Drag Race. Since then, the show has become bigger than ever, winning multiple Emmys and expanding around the globe. We're back with Marshall, a.k.a. BeBe Benet, along with Emily, director and producer of the documentary Being BeBe. What do you think of when you see that clip? What were you thinking as you were standing there as the top two? What was going on in your mind?
I don't know if I was thinking. I was just like, oh, my heels hurt, and like, get me out of this room. Are we done? No, I don't know.
You were thinking my heels hurt.
My head is hurting, so many bobby pins on the. No, I was so humbled. I was so humbled. Like, when you think of my journey and think of, where I come from, and then being from Minnesota, and the first from Minnesota, it was surreal, and it was surreal.
Because, and for those watching around the country, like in Seattle, we have a legendary club that BeBe performed called the Gay 90s. And is it true, Ru came backstage, I'm not going to give the date.
At all,
but Ru came backstage, right? What did you think? Did you know that Ru was even in the audience that night?
I had no clue. I was actually performing Circle of Life, Lion King. I've seen
it. I believe you.
I was performing. I remember performing that, and then I left and I went backstage and I was taking off my makeup, and then I was told that, hey, Ru wants to see you. I was like, oh, she's here? Yeah, like, yeah. And then she came backstage and she was like, I'm doing this show. I would love you to audition because I love, what you do and how you do, and I would love you to audition for the show. Mind you, the opportunity had presented itself like 2 times prior to that for me. So that was like the ceiling point, like, they say 3 times?
3 times the charm.
And then I said, okay, there must be a reason why it keeps coming for me.
So you turned, I didn't know, you turned it down?
Twice.
Really?
Well, just because that, that's what I was doing for a living. That's what I do for a living. And I think that everything I had seen prior to that was people making fun of drag, laughing at the art form as opposed to laughing with the art form. And I was like, this is what I do, and this is an art form, and it's a legit art form. So I want you to laugh with me and not at me.
So you wanted to make sure the show would value that before you signed on.
Because it is my career.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so because I respect RuPaul, and it has always been such an idol of mine. So once he said, I want you to be on the show, I was like, okay. So it's legit, and it's really.
So what is it like for you? Now that the show has gone, I hate the word, but mainstream, and has become a global phenomenon, what do you enjoy? Do you like that, or did you like keeping it a little on the sidelines? I mean, do you like the fact that it's become what it is, a global phenomenon?
I think it has always been global. Has always been, what's the word? It is, yeah, it should be global. It should be global.
Absolutely.
I think that it should not have been hiding on the sidelines. You know, people love drag. People appreciate the art form of drag. People come out. We make a lot of money wearing heels and makeup.
But I do think it was more taboo.
It was more, yeah,
absolutely.
It definitely was more taboo back then, and there shouldn't have been that issue.
No, there shouldn't have
being
been.
a taboo.
There
You
shouldn't
know,
have.
I mean, there are a lot of people. Even you, Jason. You said you knew me many years ago.
You said it.
Which
I didn't
means
say
you paid your money to come see me, Jason.
I have tipped you.
You kept my lights on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying.
I did. I gave you a 5. I think I gave you a 21 time. I was in my 20s. I was in my 20s.
That's pushing it.
I was eating gas station chicken.
Okay.
So the fact that I gave you a 5, that was a big deal, BeBe.
Yeah, no, but I'm just so happy that now people are recognizing the art form and they're appreciating it. And it's a career, and there are a lot of entertainers that are their brands now. They're makeup brands, we are music brands, we are all of these things, and it's a legit art form. And the pop culture borrows a lot from what we do. You know, and
it doesn't always give credit, which drives me nuts.
Never gives
drives
credit.
me nuts.
Never gives credit. And they take from us, and they're like, oh, we started it. No, you came and saw us do it.
And then you took it.
And you took it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Because we borrowed to a little bit.
Yeah.
We just make it a
little better.
If that makes sense. You know what the hook
I get it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You got to see this. You got to see the documentary, everyone. Being BeBe premieres Saturday night. If you're in town at 7 at the Walker Art Center, part of the Sound Unseen Film Festival, head to soundunseen.com for more information. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everyone. Come on, Sound Unseen. Oh, what a... Okay, I'm not going to sing. Welcome back. Still coming down from the BeBe High there. Our next guests are on stage all week at the Orpheum Theater as part of the touring cast for Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma. Please welcome to the show Sasha, who plays Lori, and Christopher, who plays Judd. Hi, guys.
Hey, everyone.
Well, either of you can take this answer. I'm really excited to hear about this because, and I know this seems like a cheesy promotional line, but this Oklahoma is really actually very different. How so? Because everyone, I mean, the majority of the audience probably knows the story, has heard of it. How is this production different?
Lori's wearing pants. That's the different part.
And Judd's got a hoodie.
I mean, that's it.
It says it right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So same script, same music. However, all that music has been condensed into a 7-piece bluegrass band. So
what?
There's number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Banjo.
And they're a very, very good band.
So good.
That's probably the first thing you'll hear that's different. You will see clothes that look different. So you'll see a lot of denim, a lot of jeans, really great boots, shirts, and Western flair. It's very leather chaps. Well, the chaps are probably pretty old school, but they're very fun on top of like very updated jeans. So it's the look and the sound is different. But the score, the actual score, the songs, and the script are completely the same. They are all retained from the original production.
So nothing has been changed with the classic music. It's just the visuals per se have been updated a little bit.
The visuals and the orchestrations, just think of like a really great remix. Like just a really great, like you're experiencing it anew.
I like that. I like that. I like the thinking of it as a remix. I like that, Sasha. That's good. Remix. Oklahoma remix.
There's no DJ, I promise. There's no DJ in the band.
Well, but Christopher, that has to be. I mean, you guys are theater experts, legends, icons, and you've done a ton of shows. What is coming to this production in a new way has to be exciting as a performer, I would imagine, Christopher.
It's so exciting because everyone has their own preconceived idea of what Oklahoma it is, whether it's the play or they've heard the music or they watched the movie. Everyone has an idea. And so to greet people, they're in the audience, we're on stage, and to greet them and to have them start where they start from, and then, you know, throughout the journey of the show, take them step by step into our current production of Oklahoma, our current vision of this show. It's so wonderful to feel the energy of the audience as they start to let go of their preconceived ideas and start to really live in this kind of new vision of the show.
And for the youngins out there, Sasha, that, you know, the 7 or so that don't know the story, don't know Oklahoma, tell the folks about Lori. Tell the folks about who you play.
Oh, Lori, you know, she's a woman for the modern world. The show is set in 1907, which is when Oklahoma is first becoming a state. But I think there's this side for young people, there's very much a coming of age, I think, theme that runs throughout the story, and what it means to start making decisions about who you want to be in the world and trying to make sense, asking very important questions about what you've been told, how things should go and how things should be and how the world works. And then I think as young people, you question that, you know, well, why is it that way? And does it have to be? And why do things, you know, occur? Why is a woman who is healthy and strong, why should she cry over a man who decided that he wanted to flirt with another woman? You know, these are the questions we ask ourselves in high school, you know, when you're just learning about how love and life and, you know, work and all these things will sort of mix together in your adult life. So it's very exciting for, I think, young people to see characters struggling with that in the same way that I'm sure they are today, especially in the world that we're living in.
Universal theme. And Christopher, in our remaining time, tell us about Judd.
Yeah, so Judd is a laborer on this farm, on Lori's farm, right? So I would say he's a worker, and perhaps in a different social class than some of the other characters on stage. And his journey throughout this play is really kind of about his trying to enter a new social class or enter a kind of be accepted within this community that perhaps views him a bit as other. And as the story goes on, you see what happens when someone who's outside of a community tries to integrate into the community. I think it's very important to tell this story today and for audiences to experience it.
Absolutely. It's what makes the classics classics. As you said, Sasha, universal themes that are still relevant. That's why they are what they are. Sasha, Christopher, thank you so much. Good luck at the run this. And if you haven't seen it, everybody, go see it. Go see this iteration. I love it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you to Oklahoma at the Orpheum all week. For tickets, go to hennepintheatertrust.org. By the way, just to let you know, guests are required to show proof of vaccination and wear a mask. If you're not here in the Twin Cities, check your local listings for when the show comes to you. We'll be right back with a surprise goodbye in the world's shortest segment next. That's no have an airport? Oh. Kendall's back.
Hey.
How great was BeBe's face when I said that I tipped her $5 is my favorite moment of the week. Really? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the world's shortest segment. We're still laughing about our guest from yesterday, TikTok star Amber, aka That Midwestern Mom. We all did a TikTok together after the show. Look at this. We also call this segment Old People Trying to Be Relevant. That already has 24,000 views. Wow. Really? Amber will be back in our studio next month. Yeah, we'll be right back with a surprise goodbye. What is it? We don't know. You'll find out when we find out. You know what I just realized, Kendall?
What?
BeBe invited me to her event on Saturday, and I have a family wedding out of town.
You could give your ticket to BeBe, the other one.
No.
Bjorn.
I'm not feeling well. Welcome back. Kendall joins me again, and it's time for the surprise goodbye. Kendall and I are in the dark about what the producers have put in the segment until right now. Today, it's the video a lot of people are talking about. Over the weekend, video from a Variety reporter showed Leonardo DiCaprio spotted talking to Jeff Bezos and his girlfriend, Lauren Sanchez, at the LA County Museum of Art and Film Gala. Many people commented about Sanchez being maybe a bit too interested in chatting with Leo. Just a little bit. Barstool Sports tweeted, Leo is Mr. Steal Yo Girl. Yesterday, Bezos got in on the fun, tweeting this photo. It shows him standing with a sign that says, danger, steep cliff, fatal drop. His caption says, Leo, come over here. I want to show you something. Whoops. Tomorrow, meet the man who helped shape the Minnesota theater scene like no other, and he's out with a new book. That's tomorrow. But right now, go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Let's go. Come on, Kendall.